Is your buyer really interested in buying your business, or are they just jerking your chain? Is your buyer getting cold feet? Hi, I'm John Taylor, founder of Stanton Park Capital, best-selling author of Maximize Your Multiple, The Business Owner's Guide to the Institutional Money Deal. These are some questions that are going to come up when you're selling your business as you engage, whether it's financial or strategic buyers. Oftentimes, you can spend a lot of time talking to people in the sale process, and it may those conversations may not go anywhere, right? So it's better to try to recognize that early, so you don't spend too much time wasting time and going down a path that isn't going to get you to your ultimate goal. So you could almost liken the process of selling a business to dating. And this might date me somewhat. I was a teenager in the '90s, so this was pre-Tinder and dating apps. So during that period of time, you meet people in the analog world, and you ask them to a concert or a movie or a game, etc. So I remember, I think I was probably 17 or 18 years old, and there was a girl I was interested in, and got the nerve to call her up on the phone, and thought I had a good rapport with her. I knew her for a few years previously, and thought there was a friendship and maybe maybe potentially more. And so I thought the call went well. Asked her, I can't remember if I was asking her to a movie or some other type of event, but and then at some point in the call, she said, "Oh, I've got a conflict. Wasn't able to make it." Right. So, but at the same time, didn't feel like she was uninterested or didn't seem to give signals otherwise. So, called her up a second time and a third time with kind of similar results, and this was kind of frustrating for me as a teenager, not kind of knowing, hey, this girl's just not interested in you. I think, I wish someone had just told me, hey, if this is what a girl's telling you, she's just trying to let you down nice. And so I wish I had recognized that earlier, right? But you just kind of learn and you grow through some painful embarrassments, I think, as a teenager. So, but similarly, in a sale process, oftentimes you can spend a lot of time talking to buyers, exchanging information. In this one particular case, we're working with a large transportation logistics business, and the buyer we were talking to was a large private equity backed transportation brokerage business. Great group of guys, had known them well, both the buyer and the seller, great business. But as we noticed, there was a management presentation, there were a couple of meetings, calls, lots of data and information exchange. The buyer had signed a non-disclosure agreement and gotten a confidential information memorandum, and we thought was interested because they did submit an indication of interest that was in a good range. So we felt like there was a good fit there, but we noticed like questions just kept coming up about customer relationships, vendor relationships. Hey, what does this contract language mean? Our attorneys have some concerns. Can we clarify? Can we get the attorneys on the phone and clarify contract language? And we felt like we answered these questions well, but continuously more questions would come up, and we said, hey, at a certain point, we'd spent several months talking with this buyer, and we had a call with them and just kind of leveled them, say, hey, we're giving you good answers here. Is there anything we're not telling you? I mean, is there any answer we could give you that would actually satisfy your questions? Because it seems like you keep coming up with questions. We're giving you answers, and you keep telling us, well, I need more information on this or more information on that. So getting to the crux of it was, we could kind of tell, hey, this was not, they just weren't interested. But I think in this particular case, the person representing the buyer, who was a vice president of business development, had a hard time saying no, just because he's a nice guy, he doesn't want to upset anybody, he values the relationships there. But obviously, for us, hey, if you're not interested, we don't want to waste our time. Let's all just move on with our lives and find another buyer to talk to, right? So I think being able to recognize, are the answers we're giving, are they answering the questions and the buyer just keeps coming up with more? How can we kind of overcome any objections? Are they legitimate questions or not? Are they things that would actually prevent a sale of the company? Could they be resolved after the sale? I mean, obviously not every issue or problem could be addressed. I mean, no business is perfect, right? There's always issues to resolve. So I think being aware of that, knowing when to cut your losses and move on, is important, because you don't want to waste your time, the buyer's time, or your client's time, right? So anyway, hope this is helpful. Check out the links in my description below. check out my book, Maximize Your Multiple: The Business Owner's Guide to the Institutional Money Deal. Thank you very much.